For over 80 years, Wittrock Motor Company, a third-generation family-owned dealership, has been investing in the Carroll area since 1935. The story begins there, in 1935, when Michael August Wittrock went to work for his cousin, Kelly Stallman, at Stallman Motor Company in Carroll. Then in 1940, Wittrock bought the dealership and is still in continuous family ownership. In 1970, Wittrock bought a familiar and historic building from Mort Mackey, previously McCoy Motors. That building, which sits at Highway 30 and North Carroll Street, housed the dealership until 2005, when Mike's son Michael Ernest and grandson Kevin moved to the new facility, which anchors the west side of Carroll at Highway 30 and 71. All along the way, the Wittrock family has been a huge part of the Carroll area and will continue to do so. Wittrock Motor Company of Carroll since 1940.
Hello everybody, Jeff Blankman with you here today. We are joined by a very special guest up here today, Kierstin Morrow from the South Central Calhoun Community School District. And this is part of a new thing that we're doing here at Carroll Broadcasting. It is the Student Athlete Spotlight. It is presented by Wittrock Motors. Now this Student Athlete Spotlight, again, presented by Wittrock Motor Company in Carroll, a third-generation dealership that started over 80 years ago. Wittrock Motor Company is a proud supporter of all of our area student athletes. And when you say student athletes, that is this young lady right here, a senior here at South Central Calhoun, ranked right now third, I think, in her class, yes, with a 3.393. 3.939 GPA. See, she knows these things. So I got to start off. Mark Schaefer, your athletic director here, and one of your teachers sent a great letter to us nominating you for this honor. So congratulations, by the way. And how does it feel to know that one of your teachers, coaches, has that much respect for you? Because I kind of showed you how long that letter was.
Yeah, it feels pretty special. Shafe and I have had a pretty special bond. I think I started his classes my sophomore year, which ended up being the COVID year. And I've taken a class every year with him since, and then especially with volleyball this year, he was my coach and helped me through a lot. So
let's talk about that class. It was the Anatomy and Physiology class, I think, and that was the year of COVID, and they canceled the classes because of that. And most of the schools said, you get the grade that you had at the end of the semester. You weren't okay with that, if I understand correctly. You went to Mark at the beginning of your junior year and said, I want to take this class and I want to do all of the work. And he's like, you already have a grade. You're not going to get credit for any of the work, and you didn't care. You still wanted to do the work. Tell us why.
Yeah, so after finding out that we weren't going to have school anymore, I knew Anatomy and Physiology I would be super important in my future, wanting to take Anatomy 2 and Anatomy 3, and then with my major next year. So I thought that learning that stuff would be valuable, and I didn't really care about the grade. So,
folks, I want to point something out. The fact that she got no credit for taking this class, it's very similar to somebody going to a job and working for an entire semester without getting paid. So how many people would be willing to volunteer to go sit in a class all the time? So that's how much that meant to you. That is very special. What is it about school and learning that you find so important?
I've always been really into learning. I guess it started when I was younger, reading. My grandparents and my mom really pushed me to read a lot, and that's carried through into high school. And hopefully will carry through when I go to college, but also just being prepared for the future. So learning in school and outside of school will help you know what you want to do with your life and know how to handle your life. So
you told me you wanted to go to UNI for biology.
Yes.
Where did that love come from?
Biology class my freshman year was probably my favorite class, and I've always been really into science. So right now I'm kind of in between biology and biochemistry because I'm taking chemistry 2 right now across the hall, and I'm really liking that class. So
sounds like not just your science class is important to you. You don't get a 3.939 GPA by only focusing on a couple of subjects. So school has been something. Did that start when you were little? Yes. With the way your mom and dad brought you up, that every class means something?
Yes, for sure.
I also understand that she tutors people, so she could help guys like me and Tyler Bruner, who's running the camera back here, because we need help being educated. So what is it about you helping other students in your classes? If they have questions, they can come to you and you're always willing to help.
I think them understanding the importance of the class as much as the rest of us do is very important, especially knowing that they're going to have futures too, and what they do in high school can affect their future. So.
Is teaching something you've thought about doing, or is that just something that you kind of enjoy doing on the side a little bit?
It's definitely something I considered, and then I kind of spend a few days and I'm like, I don't know if I can come to high school or middle school for the rest of my life, so yeah.
You're also a member of the D.A.R.E program. Yes. What do you all do there? Because I know you were named a D.A.R.E role model.
Yes, so we didn't have D.A.R.E when we were in 5th grade, and at probably March, Mr. Martin called 4 of the seniors to the office, and we basically went down to the middle school and hung out with the 5th graders for the morning. So we were there from like 8 to noon. We kind of answered questions about high school, things that go on through that, the importance of avoiding drugs and alcohol when you're our age and their age, and then we played some dodgeball and had lunch with them, so it was really fun. What
made you decide to get into that program?
So, well, we didn't really know about it, I guess. Mr. Martin just kind of called us into the office and was like, you guys were suggested, so yeah.
It's something you enjoyed, though, I have a feeling.
Yes, it was very fun.
Younger brothers and sisters, do you have any?
I have 2 younger stepsisters that go to Manning.
Okay, okay, so you're around younger folks and setting that example for them as well. Athletics, I know you played volleyball. You talked about that. Coach Schaefer was your coach this year. What is it about sports that you enjoyed, and what did you learn in playing athletics?
I think that having or being a part of sports is very important when you're in high school, because it can definitely bring you a lot of friendships. That's kind of how you start your freshman year, because you have your open gyms that summer. So that's where I started a lot of my friendships that have carried on throughout high school, even after people have graduated. But being in sports can teach you a lot more about real life situations than just sitting in the classroom can, which we learn in both. But sports, you definitely learn how to work with people and learn how to succeed through failure and important lessons. So.
And you know the volleyball girls loved you. What was it, most inspirational player?
Yes.
You were named this year. What did that mean to you to be named that?
That was pretty cool. Mr. Schaefer kind of came up with it on his own. But in his speech, he just said kind of how my anatomy class, how I came in and didn't get the credit but still took the class, and also just pushing myself in weights in open gyms, being there for 4-hour summer practices that he held. So yeah.
Now, I can imagine somebody like you, that school's so important, you do things with young kids, you're in athletics, you're a great kid. I can tell that. I've known that for several years now. What do you do outside in the community? You know, because I have a feeling you probably give back and find ways to give back there as well.
Yes, so I volunteer a lot at the local Capri Theater. I'm actually hoping to volunteer this weekend if they need some more help. And then I am a part of the Dance to Extreme Dance Company, where I volunteer for a lot of local things. So we help at like Western Days, Corn Days, stuff like that, just to get involved in the community and put our name out there. And FFA has also been very helpful. We served at Ragbri this year and get very involved in the community with FFA. So,
how do you find time to do all that?
It's tough sometimes for sure, but I mean, you just kind of got to know your priorities and you got to balance your schedule the best you can.
Now, I talk to kids a lot, and one of the things I tell them is when you're your age, be involved in a lot of different things. I know that it means you got to figure out how to schedule things and do those things. So what advice do you have maybe to younger kids about being active in a lot of things, whether that be sports or all the different activities that a school gets, volunteering, but still being able to get good grades?
I would say your freshman year, try as much as you can, because then you kind of know how to balance your schedule. If you don't like something, you don't have to stay in it, but know your priorities so you know that your schoolwork should come first, because if your schoolwork isn't doing well, then you can't play your sports. And just making sure that you have time to study, utilizing all of your time in school and out of school. So.
UNI for biology.
Yes.
When did you make that decision?
I think I accepted my offer in February to go to UNI. So.
Anywhere specific you want to end up later in life once you're done with school? Do you want to come back here? Does it matter to you where you go?
Not anything specifically, no.
All right. Anything else you want to add for the folks out there on this great honor here?
Oh, just thank you so much for the opportunity.
You bet. Kierstin Morrow again. She is our Student Spotlight athlete again from South Central Calhoun. This is presented again by Wittrock Motor Company in Carroll, a third-generation dealership that started over 80 years ago. Wittrock Motor Company is a proud supporter of all area student athletes.